Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you about this spiritual war that is happening for a lot of us, and so many people are who are fighting for the enemy. Always wonder. There are some of them know the truth, and some of them wondering, if what they are doing is it's against the law, or they're having a second thought and whatnot. And some of them are just wicked, and then the other ones, the wicked ones, are mostly criminals. That usually they enroll people in this program who are criminals who have committed a crime. Like, okay, when I was in Canada and Alberta, I was dealing with this guy who was supposed to come because my car was acting out when I first got targeted. And when I first got targeted, he I found him on news in a newspaper classified section, and because I really wanted to do it cheaply, because I had a mortgage, I had a life, I had all this responsibility, you know, and car payment, the whole shebang. And I just wanted to look for someone to do it cheaply, to fix whatever was wrong with the car, because the car was not even a 3-year-old. I didn't, and haven't reached 20,000 or 50. It was 15,000 kilometer or something like that. It didn't have a lot of mileage on it, and we started to act. And anyhow, to make the story short, is I found him in a classified section, and I contacted him. And it turned out to be, what did I find him? I'm trying to remember this because it happened so far a long time ago. It was 2014 when it happened. And so anyhow, he says he'll do it very cheap, and was less than the dealership, a lot less than the dealership. And anyhow, he went. It was like someone did put like a faulty spark plug or something like that. It was something very simple to fix. But then he says, I fix it for you. And then when I look at the screen and all this, all the this notification or these things happening like on the screen of the car went away. And I was like, oh, it cost me was like, I can't remember how much. But he says he had to take the car, and he didn't want me to come with him. He told me, no, just stay at the house. I'm going to take the car for a drive and make sure the car is fixed. I was like, oh, okay. So I really thought he, and he went and put some sort of powder in engine block. And this powder he put in, it's kind of, it broke the engine block. I was driving to, I was going to university at the time. I went back to university, and I was going, I was driving from work, going to university, and the car started stalling. And I'm like, what the hell? I just fixed it, and all these lights coming on and blah, blah, blah. Anyhow. And I took it to the dealership, and he told me, somebody they told me it was some sort of powder, what it was. But it was like some sort of chemical, and in the engine block, and it was powder. He told me what it called, but it's like some household powder, and it broke the engine. And so I had to go buy a $6,000 or $7,000 brand new engine, because the dealer is like, oh, it's not under warranty, because this is like done by a person. He says you have to go through insurance. It was a headache. Anyhow, when I confronted him about it, because he put on the ad his first and last name, and he put his name, and I just said to myself, At that point, I knew I was being targeted, but I just didn't know. I needed to know what I was, what if this guy a really a nice person, or he's somewhat of a criminal, or you know, and and I just started like looking, phone number, and started looking at his first and last name, and stuff like that, because so obviously he was working for the enemy against me, right? And so what I had done was he he I looked up his history. I just put like his first and last name and phone number and whatnot, and criminal public records for child molesters comes up, right? Because it's a public record. They want to warn people about there is a predators and stuff. They put even his address, his current address, and they put all this information about him, and he's been convicted, blah blah blah, and whatnot. And so it turned out to be he's a child molester. He had a criminal, and then when I started to kind of dig more into this program and to see, who are these people are hiring, it turned out to be a lot of people in this program. They have criminal records, and the way they get them to participate in this program by telling them, if you participate and do what you're told against this person, and they don't know anything about you, then we'll make this crime go away. We will scrub your record clean. You understand? So that's why people are motivated. And then there's the ones who actually receiving gift cards and some money from the government and undocumented money, right? Because this program is secret program. It's against every moral code, and against a lot of things that are not supposed to be happening. And so anyhow, obviously they cannot publicly make it public because what they're doing is criminal and it's against the law. And so what they're doing is they're giving all these people money, gift cards, and stuff like that, and they're giving them something to motivate them to participate. So anyhow, and then I started to get into the community, target individual community, started to talk to people in the forums and YouTube and different platforms. It turned out to be this is a common thing they do to people, because they will damage something is very costly to make you pay more out of your saving. Because if at that point they will go and tell your boss something about you, then they'll fire you, or what do you call it? Or when you apply for a job, you don't get a job, you get a call. Like it happened to me many times, where I call, when they're giving me an interview, they're like, oh, we want you, when can you start, and all the stuff. And it used to be for me, like I show up to interview, I get the job, honestly, I swear. Some of it, yeah, I had to sell myself, whatnot, to, for the, to get hired. Maybe I used to dress really nice and, clean haircut and very nice suit, ties, and, and polish my resume and like hire me kind of, And anyhow, it started. I didn't get fired or anything like that, if you guys wondering. But I knew they were trying to get me fired because things that started happening at work. And I knew they were, because at the time I had, it was unionized job. So they couldn't really fire you just like that. It has to go through channels to get rid of you. And so I knew they would kind of started writing me up for shit, things are whatever. And so I started to see the things that are happening. They're trying to bad mouth me to the employer and stuff, and they started to, they have to write you up for so many times for the same reason to fire you, you know, and they started to really point finger for things that never happened. Like there's no documentation, no proof that it happened, and they make you like think. They make you think like you're, delusional, or you're like, mental unstable or something like that. They make you think that because they've done this so long, and game and manipulation, trying to make you think kind of way about yourself, and make you doubt yourself, kind of thing. And then I find out that also something they've done to a lot of target individuals. They make you sound like, you're crazy. They're trying to make you seem like a mental unstable, and you need to check yourself and stuff like that. And I found that they do it intentionally so when you speaking about what's happening to you, nobody would believe you. You see the tactics? So they use this reverse psychology on you, trying to make you feel or paint you in a way that, become, oh, maybe I'm the one who to blame. They make you doubt yourself. You're actually happening to you. And in reality, nothing wrong with you, but they make you feel that way. And then I had people coming into my house, my alarm system going off, and my car alarm goes off, and somebody keyed my car, leaving me notes telling me, effing nigger, get out of this neighborhood, or oh yeah. And then I put my house up for sale because the neighbors are all like in it, they staying up when I'm sleeping, and they attack me. So when people coming into my house, and my rooms, like the three bedrooms upstairs, the first floor has like a living room, kitchen, like half bath, and then another den is like an area where it has like, another sitting area and a fireplace or whatnot. It was very nice setup anyhow. And then upstairs it has a full bathroom, and then it has three bedrooms. And I was staying at the time by myself, like I didn't have a roommate or anything like that, and things that just started to happen. And like I hear I'm upstairs in my room, I could hear somebody opening the door and closing the door, and I hear my alarm, somebody going to my alarm and turning it off, like they knew the code from my alarm system, you know and I kept changing my alarm system and changing my, yeah. And then I had I had the Nest thermostat, which is, it works through your phone, and I regulate the temperature of the house and control the AC unit. And at the time it was winter. Was it winter or summer? No, it was summer. Sorry, it was summer. And the heat was coming on, like somebody turning the heat when I'm sleeping, and I'm like, what the hell? The AC, like somebody broken into the network, and so I ended up changing the password. A lot of shit, guys. Excuse my French. A lot of stuff happened to me since 2014. This is just a gist of it. I'm telling you. What I'm telling you now is just a spark of what happened to me, and it's a lot of it because I messed up with this guy, this professor, teacher. His name is Peter Choates in Mount Royal University, and I knew he was a Masons, but I didn't think they have that kind of power to do what he had done to me. And I should have been. I've been warned by another professor. I'm not gonna say. They said she told me to stay away from him. She told me to stay away from his trouble. That's what she said. But I didn't think he could do anything. You know what I'm saying? So I provoked him because I didn't like him, because he's a womanizer and he hit on his students, not on me, but on women's, on girls on campus, which is unethical and is so wrong at every level to hit on your students. And you're not allowed to do things like that because it's just, again, it's all what the school is built on. You cannot sleep or flirt with your students when it's not just it's a line you cannot cross. You understand what I'm saying? But anyhow, and then the other thing is he was connected to these two guys I was telling you who are part of the another University of Calgary. So I was working there part time, and I was working there full time. Sorry, at the time, and donated millions. These guys, the Wicked Twins, they donated. They have like digital libraries, library at campus at Royal University. They donated millions, 150 millions or something like that. And so I know they're wealthy. They're Jews. They're two Jews, and they were very connected to this guy. And then shit started hitting the fan. So, and it didn't help at the time. I was partying. It did not help my situation. But I felt what people do in their private home is none of your business. You cannot breathe in somebody's down neck, on breathe on somebody's on their neck because they're doing something you don't agree with. But it's none of your business because they're doing it in a private home, right? But they started doing shit to you. They started doing things because because I realized that they were hacking a lot of my devices at home. They were installing cameras. Sometimes I see light coming from the ceiling. There is nothing there in that area. There is no light. I see light where jump next to a TV where there's nothing in that area should show. And then I go and I see a little dot. In the drywall, but I didn't want to start digging the drywall to figure out, this light coming from the thing, and it doesn't come all the time, but it comes so for example, I look up and I see it on, and then it goes off right away, And I noticed stuff. I started noticing things, the microwave, light coming from the microwave that's not even. So it started, and then I found out from other target individuals they usually they will mod your devices at home, your computer, because I had this smart fridge, I had like stove and all of that. It's all smart devices. They hacked into a lot of stuff. So it started to show things that are happening. Because and then I realized that from talking to other target individuals, they use it for spying. They use it to spy on you, okay? And plus they install other cameras. So one time I put the house for sale because I was going away I transferred to another university in Australia, and I put that house for sale, and they started telling my realtor was working. I felt like she's pissing me off. She's telling me, oh, the price is too high. And for you to get what you want and blah, 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 you have to drop the price if you want to really sell it. I said, no, how about I just rent it? I started to look for people to rent it, and then I just go. But she said, oh, your house is really done nice because I renovated it. And she says, you don't want to rent it to somebody. They're going to come and abuse your house and, mess what you have done. And she says it's best to sell it. And I felt like, maybe it was the right thing to do. Maybe she want to make money but before that happened, we thought we were friends. I thought we were really friends, but we're not. I met her when I used to live downtown, and we become really friends. And so she's the one who sold me the house, and then when I listed with her again. So it was because she's a common familiar face, someone I knew or whatnot. But anyhow, it turned out she was working for the enemy as well, making me drop the price. A house across the street, is sold for $20,000 or $25,000. No, I think $35,000 more than my house. And mine is more square footage, and also mine is fully renovated. It's not like that one. Because I took a virtual tour, and she told me, no, your house is done way better than that one. You should get more. When I initially listed it, but then she kept telling me you really need to get out of this neighborhood. It's not safe for you because, oh yeah, they started telling. She told me, you're not gonna sell the house, because one time she told me their neighbors are telling buyers not to buy the house. They were going to the buyers and telling them, you really don't want to live in this house. They started telling them stuff, so buyers are going away, you know. And then, anyhow, I've realized that she made a deal with the devil against me, and she kept making me drop the price. I dropped it at 5, 10,000, and it's like almost 30 something thousand. I dropped the price, and I told her, I feel like, I knew, because things, happened. Okay, things happened. It became clear to me. She made a deal with them to drop the price when the house, if whoever gonna buy it, when they're ready to sell it, they will go through her to sell the house, and then she get commission from both people. When I confronted her about it, she started crying, and I would not do that to you. You're my friend. Da, da, da. And I'm like, oh, fuck off, bitch. But anyhow, I knew she did that, and I was 100%. She goes, you have no proof. You're accusing me. You have no proof. I said to her, I know, and I didn't want to tell her how I know, but because I want her just to keep thinking why she have done this. But anyhow, and she told me, no, that's not true. Nobody made a deal with me, and about a year and a half ago, I went and looked up online. I can't remember the date. I went and looked online my property, the house that I owned, and guess what? The selling listing real estate agent is her. Her name is Julianne Nesuri, right? So she was listing this house, and I was gonna contact her. I'm gonna say, hey, Bravo, when I confronted you about this before, you denied it, and clearly you are selling it now. But I just said, you know what? I'm not gonna confront her because I don't like her. I don't want to know her. I don't want to know people in Alberta, from Peter, from Mount Royal University, from the Wicked Twins at University of Calgary. I don't want to know anybody from Alberta. You know what I mean? Because they're working together to fight you for what they've done to you, and these people have no remorse. They don't even have a soul. They have, I don't know what they have. You know what I'm saying? But it's not, no human being would treat another person the way I was treated. A lot of targeted individuals treated the same way. And anyhow, that's what's kind of going on. And it just kind of, sorry, it's a long story, but I just kind of, when I was talking to you about, earlier, people who know what they're doing is wrong, and some of people who do not know, actually the way you're being violated is wrong, or some they know, they don't care, and some are criminals, because I already proved to you from what I've told you, from my speaking to other people, it's true. They bring people who have criminal records, in this program. They bring a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? And everybody have a price, all of them have a price. No, a single person in this program doesn't have a price. Even the wealthiest people in this program, they benefit from experimenting on us. And when you speak about it, they're like, how dare you speak about it? How dare you, air our dirty laundry? How could you speak about us in such a way? because we are God of the earth. You're nobody. You're gonna die like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? When time your clock runs out, you're gonna find out there is a God. You're gonna find out there is a creator or maker who manifests things through a thought, intention. You know, he says, "Kun fayakun." He says, "Be and shall it happen." You know what I mean? There is a God, okay? And so this money is not going to save you. Whatever you made from this program, from the suffering, from the 144,000 and other target individuals who are not really part of the 144,000, just targeted because they started, you know, in this program, they started selling it to companies. So if a company, if you have beef with a company, they will say, oh, okay, we can target this employee. If an employee is a problem for the company and he's going to sue the company or whatever. And anyhow, if he's going to sue a company, then they will hire somebody like this in this program to make a living hell for that person. You understand? To target that person the same way. They started selling it globally through governments, through institutions, secret service. Everybody's getting paid. So that why this program is like a wheel of fortune for these people. It's like they're making money for the suffering from, you know, the suffering they put people. I know for you guys it's hard to believe because it's so far-fetched. When it's so far-fetched, that's the main intention, to make this program seem unreal. Disbelief is the main intention behind this program. You understand? And there's psychologists in it, lawyers in it, judges in it, police officers, secret service, all of them getting paid. When you like take it to court, the court will throw your case out. You have no evidence or proof to sue the government. You have no, you know, they do stuff like that. It's like the world of China. You know, China, you cannot sue China, even though they're manufacturing, you know, counterfeit goods. They make everybody fake products. Nobody can sue them. Find me one case against China that someone won in court. Find me one. You won in court and you got money for it. You could win, but you're not going to get anything for it. You're getting nothing, okay? And because China, they're not part of this world court or whatnot, you can only sue them through their own court system in China. You think you're going to win through their own court system in China? Come on. You know, go back to bed. People, you're naive and gullible, and you're like stupid to think you can win. They make counterfeit things, and nobody can do shit about it, okay? And this is what they're doing. And this is what the program is. They're doing things, you know, in your face, trying to provoke, intention, the intent is to harm. And because, you know what? I watched a movie. I can't remember the name of the movie. I'm gonna tell you what. This movie is about this richest globalist, and they have a black market for buying what do you call it, like trafficking humans. Basically, you buy someone, and you do with that person whatever you see fit. They put that person in a way, like either underground, they put them in somewhere, and these people will have their way with that person. They will harm the person, or they can kill them. They could, sexually violate them. They could, like a slave. Excuse me, like a slave. And then I watched another movie with similar, where they break into these people computers to find uncompromising documents or things that it really condemning that person, and they know the person would do anything. So they get people to come into this program by saying, if you do not participate in this program, we will, you know, you know, air this. Your wife is gonna divorce you for cheating, or they go because they break into your devices. They know who you're talking to, whatever. So movies already started to manifest what the things that are happening to us or continue to happen to us. Is they put it in movies. So here you have it. You know what I mean? I know it's so far fetched. The truth is that's why the truth is hidden in the plain sight when nobody's looking.